Got some more stuff from DJI. I just wish they'd stop asking me for money though. Today is going to be a bit of a geek fest because I am upgrading my S900 because I'm fed up with not having camera control when the aircraft's in the air. So I have had to buy this Zenmuse X5, which is a nice little camera and it will do the job. But in order for it to operate, I need a new RC link, which is lightbridge 2, and I need a new flight controller to make the RC link work. I better read the instructions to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I start stripping my S900 down. This is obviously the controller. This will be the controller for flight, and then I've got another controller for the cameraman. First things first, got to get all the old electronics stripped off. Do you know, I've heard people have some express concerns about the 3M tape that DJI uses to stick their components with. But trying to take this off is a nightmare. It will not budge. That's got the top plate off and the GPS, and I just want to show you this. It's a little tip when you put stuff together. When I connected this plug wasn't ever secure, so it was a bit of insurance. I've put a bit of double-sided tape underneath. That's got it all stripped down. Now while I've got it stripped down, I'm going to take this plate off and just check all these wires, just make sure they're all okay, because with you constantly folding the arms up and down, these wires can get fatigued, so we're going to check all them. Because we don't want 7 kilos of drone falling on somebody's head. Although having said that, the new flight controller's got built-in redundancy, so if I can afford to lose a motor and still land it. Somebody once said to me, it's alright for you, you get to do your hobby for a living. And he is right, it is great doing your hobby for a job, but when you put this in the sky above people's heads, even though you've got permission from them, it does feel like a very serious hobby. Right, so I've taken this cover off, and as I suspected, this wire has been rubbing against it, so I've cut that insulation back. I had to trim it back just to make sure none of the wires were broken. So now I know the wire's okay, I can put some insulation back around it again, and then we can get that covered back up. But it just goes to show the importance of checking these things when you get the chance. First things first, we better get a flight controller on it. And this is the one we've got, the A3. I'm not going for the Pro version just yet, I'm just going for the standard A3. Look at that beautiful packaging. But that's where half my money's gone. This is the expansion bay, which the Zenmuse X5 hangs off, and that has got to go on the bottom of the S900 on these two bars just here. That one and that one, just there. So we've got to take off this hanger, which is used to connect a Zenmuse Z15. That's got the old Zenmuse hanger off, and now we need to put the new expansion bay on. However, there's a little bit of an issue, because these hangers are slightly too wide. So I knew there was a modification that had to be made, I just didn't know what it was, and obviously this is it. What we've got to do is move these hangers slightly inwards so that they'll sit on those two bars like so. Right, these hangers have got two little locating lugs and one bolt hole. So I'm going to make up a little template to drill them out in their new positions. The hangers are now 12mm further over from where they were, so they should just slot on quite nicely. Now all I've got to do is change this XT30 connector to an XT60 connector so that we can connect up to the battery on the copter. Boom! Right, here we go, the big plug-in. Hopefully we won't get any magical puffs of grey smoke. Here we go. Yay! So that's the installation done. Now we've got to get it programmed using the DJI software. But before I do, I'll just give you a quick tour around so you can see how it all works on the S900. So first of all, we've got the IMU on top and the GPS. Then underneath that, we've got the flight controller. I'll just unplug it so you can see it. Like so. I put it slightly forward of centre because the motor pins are underneath this front edge and the leads aren't quite long enough if you put it in the centre, so just be aware of that. And I've got the landing gears plugged into the F1 port. I've also had to solder the cable at right angles to the XT60 connector because otherwise it sticks up too far when the top plate goes on. Then you'll need the S-bus cable from the A3 box and plug that into the RF port on the flight controller. Then the altitude cable from the matrice gimbal plate and plug that into the CAN bus port on the GPS. Then lastly, use the video cable also from the matrice gimbal plate and plug that into the lightbridge. Boom, hardware done. Now let's do some software. I do quite like this new A3 startup sequence. It makes the geek in me very happy. That's it. That's all I've got to do now is the dreaded flight test, which will be the next video. Just a little tip, if you're going to be doing anything that involves DJI's Assistant 2 software, then you might need to have access to a Windows computer, because I couldn't get it to work on my MacBook Pro. I'm sure some people may have done, but I couldn't. Mind you, when you look at the tutorial, DJI's tutorial, it seems they couldn't either. Look, nice shiny looking MacBook for the USB plug-in shot, but when it gets to the screenshot, ooh look, what's that I can see? Surely not. Oh, it's a Windows icon. Maybe they were filmed on 2 different days and they only had a Windows machine to do it on. I'll let you be the judge of that. Anyway, if you got this far, you're either a proper hardcore fan or you needed to know how to do this conversion. Either way, I want to say thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.